based on the historic price movement, we can try to give our opinion or our own forecast in some way. All right, so also because what I try to mention is that this is the trading view and this is the weekly chart we can see here. So just by looking price actions, you cannot always predict, and I think that's what I find the weakness in the technical analysis. For example, in 2020 we saw the corona dump, right? Now nobody could predict how coronavirus could have impacted our world, right? So that means if your technical analysis or your prediction is depending only on historic price and not looking into the real world in terms of how different developments are happening, how different countries are interacting, how different political events are happening, then your analysis may not be correct. So of course you should be looking into, or we should be looking into the price action, but also we should be looking into the real world events, and also we should be looking into this new thing, not new, the on-chain analysis, meaning like when we have a blockchain, we have a lot of information. For example, what's the hash rate? Like when miners are mining, they're running these mining nodes, then how many miners are involved, and what's the difficulty, and these are some of the mining information. So this is one website that I recommend, studio.glassnode.com, and as you can see, you can get different kind of information. I will dive deeper into future videos, and on the other hand, you can see how many new addresses are being created, okay? And you can also see how many whales are there. For example, if you look into addresses with balance more than 1000 Bitcoin, that means they are whales, and whales basically manipulate the market in many ways. Sometimes when you see a huge price dump or huge price crash, it may be that the whales are trying to push the price down so that they can they basically short, and they can buy it back again. So there are on-chain exchange activity. You can see exchange inflow volume. What does it mean? So that means let's look at the one of these indicators. So this is the Bitcoin price, the black line here, you can see the price, and then the orange lines, that's the total transfer volume, meaning like how much money is flowing into the exchanges. When money is flowing into the exchange, when inflow is high, it's possible that it's possible that people who are holding those coins or holding Bitcoin, they now want to sell it. Okay, so it can be a sell signal sometimes. For example, if we look at here, it's possible that we can see the total number of Bitcoin that flowed into the exchanges is almost 42,000. That means maybe all these people were afraid at that time, and they started selling, and we can see like a price drop, right? On the other hand, in terms of, this is a Bitcoin inflow, so it means how much Bitcoin is flowing into the exchange versus flowing. I think there should be outflow also. So now so I am not going into the details in these indicators. My goal today is to show only different platforms that I personally use to understand what's happening in the chain, and sometimes try to understand the market. I sometimes it's very hard, and I don't recommend to time the market. I think it's almost impossible to time the market. That's why most traders lose money. So, but at the same time, that does not mean that you cannot predict the trend. So you should be on a long-term basis. We know that Bitcoin is doing very well compared to other cryptocurrencies, and lots of other cryptocurrencies are doing well, and we can understand the trend. For example, we can at least say whether it's a bull market or bear market, and we can understand different different price actions. So I really recommend the Glassnode on-chain analysis, and you can have different you can see addresses with balance more than 1 Bitcoin or more than 10 Bitcoin. And actually there's another website now I remember called Whale Map that basically is very useful indicator, because whales ultimately move the market. So if I so let's choose the whales who have more than 10 to 100 Bitcoin here, and you can see, or let's say 100 Bitcoin here, and you can see when these nodes means this circular nodes mean that they have more than 100 to 1000 Bitcoin, and when they started their action in the market. So as you can see, lot of okay, here is what I want to add. So a lot of people argue that this time is different than 2017, because a lot of people say that okay, we reached all-time high and it can go down or crash really hard, but there are some anti-arguments is that this time is different. Why? You see, back in 2017, so if you look at here, back in 2017, you see there were only a small market, small investors. You don't see a lot of investors here who have more than 100 to 1000 BTC. On the other hand, if I click on 10 to 100 BTC or 0.1 to 10 BTC, you see decent amount. But as you can see, there are no institutional investors here, meaning like account which has more than 100 to 1000 BTC. What do you see now? Oops, go back 100 to 100,000. So what do you see now? You see, these people argue that this time it's different because there are so many institutional investors, meaning like big account holders. So sometimes people go to the Google trend. So Google trend Bitcoin. So if you search Google trend, what Google trend shows that how many people are searching certain keywords, right? And as you can see, even now the interest in November, because the price is going up, we can see the Google, it's very trending. Then you can see where it's being trending as you can see, United States, Canada, certain part Brazil, Argentina, Russia, India, Australia. These are the places where people, and I believe this should be Nigeria, and this should be South Africa. So but if we look, this is only past 12 months. If we look at 2014 present, yes, this is what people point towards, that back in 2017 there were so much interest, but now we don't see as much interest as it used to be. So isn't that, if Bitcoin has reached if it's a bull market, shouldn't the interest be as much as it used to be in 2017? That can be little dubious, because of the same idea is that yes, it may be that more people were interested in Bitcoin, but then it kind of saturated a little bit, and gaining exponential user interest is probably not happening. But what's happening now, that because of decentralized finance, because of lot of people, technological advances that we'll talk about in future in my non-trading videos, lot of institutional investors are investing. So if we look at the whole map, as you can see the difference. If we see if we compare here, as you can see in 2017 and now, there's a huge difference between, these are the institutional investors, the big money is coming into play. That's where I will show you what's happening. This is a video. As you know, the newest development is that PayPal started accepting Bitcoin.
Since you made that announcement, the idea of it being adopted much more globally, and the view, I think, that other rivals of yours and others in the financial community are going to be coming in at some point behind you. We'll see whether they do. But let me just ask you just straight up about the value proposition of Bitcoin, because a lot of people say, what is its true value? What is the inherent value of Bitcoin? How do you value it? I know you own some yourself. How do you value it?
Yeah. Well, I think all forms of money.
So this is the PayPal CEO. Why the company is getting into cryptocurrency. So this is the biggest news in crypto world or Bitcoin world, because PayPal adopting Bitcoin means that Bitcoin is going to be accessible by millions of PayPal users. And I can share this link later. Basically, the model that PayPal is following is nothing new. They are, anytime any transaction will happen, they will basically convert the Bitcoin into real US dollar, and they will take care of the volatility that way. But I will share this link and you should watch this, and maybe I can show what
are based on trust and set values that come from that trust. I think.
Okay, so he said a very important thing. Basically, money. He basically said that money or any sort of instruments, financial instruments, ultimately depend on the trust. People's trust. If people trust on something, that means it has value. Just like any token or any coin, if two parties can do some sort of arrangement, or can believe that they can use that token for certain purpose, that ultimately produces the value. And as we know, there were so many backlashes against Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, but Bitcoin has showed its dominance, its strength in terms of technology, and all the other coins. I'm talking about the legitimate new cryptocurrencies which came into existence with many new ideas and gave birth to many new innovations. And this whole ecosystem basically shows that how a new kind of blockchain or Web 3.0 we are watching and we are living through. So I will talk more about different kind of technologies in future. I already said that. So the last thing that I want to show is another platform that every crypto trader knows, or anybody who wants to analyze Bitcoin and crypto, they should be knowing it. So this is called TradingView. So TradingView, this chart I already showed earlier, is a weekly chart, and this triangular channel, this one is a descending channel. This is a descending channel, and this is a descending channel, and this is another channel right now. And as you can see, this is where we are currently, and you can look at the highest price we had in this week is 19,888 on this exchange on Binance. This chart is against BTC USDT, and you can see the logarithmic chart by clicking on it's showing the logarithmic chart. Anyway, we'll dive deeper in future videos, but we can see we are back to where we used to be. In fact, right now the last closing price is higher than what it used to be in 2017. And this is what the most important thing. Why do we think that something another all-time high has reached? So the last all-time high was 20,000, but look at back in 2017, the monthly close was 13,867. That was the best. That was, even though it has reached, the high price was close to 20,000, but that month closed with a huge crash to 13,838. So this is the first time in Bitcoin's price history we can see such high monthly close. We are talking about the last month. This is December 4, so we already have a new historical moment where Bitcoin has reached an all-time high in terms of monthly closing. Definitely we can see that it has crashed a little bit, so we can use this tool here, measurement tool, to measure the price. So 3.74%, actually it was 8%. I mean, maybe almost like 10 to 15% down, I think, and there's still a chance that it will go down. Now this is the trend right now we are in, so this red line, as you can see. So basically, as long as Bitcoin price is above this red line, we're still following the trend. So what I mean, let me close this. So let's say in the worst case scenario, Bitcoin can still go down to, let's say, 30%, because so let's say Bitcoin comes down to 30% or 25% or even 30%, and it comes down to 13,000, less than the monthly open of November. But if it still goes back and follow this trend line, that means Bitcoin will still be on a bull market. And if it continues its bullish price, if we just extend this line all the way up there, that means in 2022 we are seeing a price of 32,000. But I have earlier shown that Bitcoin typically goes parabolic. So if instead of if Bitcoin follows a parabola instead, like this, that means we are seeing in 2020 on November, almost a year from now, we are seeing 71,000, and we should not be surprised if it reaches 100,000 also. So I wanted to show this monthly price, and finally this is a much more, so we can see different price ranges here, 4 hourly, 6 hourly. So now I'll show some indicators. For example, this is the Bitcoin price, and you can, so how do you search for indicators? So you go to the indicators and you press the indicators, and then you can write EMA Ribbon indicator. So EMA Ribbon is basically, what is EMA? These are moving averages. What moving average is, you basically take average of a certain period, and EMA Ribbon shows 21, 25, 30, 35, 40. Right now I'm in 4 hours, so if I go to a daily chart, so that will be 21-day moving average, exponential moving average, 25-day moving average, 30 moving averages. Okay, now what do we want to see here? So when there is a bull market, this is the trend line I was talking about earlier. When there's a bull market, so typically the price candles, they are above this ribbon, okay? And on the other hand, when there's a bear market, typically price is below the ribbon. So this is a very simple indicator. And so as we can see, and sometimes they bounce back. So they, if for example, when it's coming inside this ribbon, you need to be careful about whether there's a possibility that it may break. For example, you see it came here, it broke the broke the ribbon. Okay, now on a 4 hourly, as we can see, it jumps back and forth from that ribbon. So that's one indicator. Another trading strategy that I like is called Ichimoku strategy. You can see some video. Ichimoku strategy shows you when to buy and when to sell. In some other videos I can go into details of what this is called, a cloud. When so there's lots of details in there, there's lots of information in there, but basically when you see a long line here, you buy it, and then you can sell it when you reach a certain point, or you can just follow this indicator. So however, just following a single indicator is probably not wise, and you should not be doing it. This is Ichimoku strategy. We'll talk about it, and on TradingView we can also test strategies. As you can see, Ichimoku strategy in this case is giving you almost 1040, almost 64% profitable. More than 50% is good in terms of strategy, but just relying on a single indicator is not good. That's where comes other indicators. So you can just search with relative strength indicator. So what is relative strength index? Relative strength index is very simple in the sense that you see this rectangle here. If it's above this line, meaning above 69.24, that means that tells that that asset class, or that Bitcoin in this case, has been overbought, meaning like if there's lots of green candles. Let me hide the Ichimoku. So if we look at here, as you can see, so a bull run started happening, a lot of people are buying, price is going up, and then it starts crashing, and it crashes big, right? So in one hand, when that means it is overbought, most people are buying at this time. So if it's above this line, that means most people are buying this. On the other hand, if it's below this line, that means most people are selling it. For example, here in this case, it's called oversold. So typically, if it's oversold, that's the time, that's called the dip. Maybe you have heard this term by lots of moon boys, that you buy the dip. So this is the dip it is. So you buy during the dip, and then probably it goes up again. But again, you should be comparing multiple indicators, multiple strategies to make your decision. So the last thing, there's a lot of indicators, a lot of strategies I may in future talk about. And I was talking about one on-chain. You can also plot Bitcoin dominance. For example, let's say I put Bitcoin dominance here, Bitcoin's dominance, and that way we can also compare with dominance. Okay, let's go to the weekly chart. So let me close the Bitcoin dominance, or any strategy, or let me close the RSI. So now finally, earlier I talked about on-chain analysis, and this indicator I wanted to introduce lastly for today, because we have already made a longer video, even though I was originally wanting to have a shorter video. So this is a very great buy indicator. This is called hash ribbon. So you can search with hash ribbon indicator, and this is the one, Capriol hash ribbon. And actually there's a nice Capriol medium hash ribbon. If you search with that, you will find the Medium article. So let me first show the indicator, and then we'll go back to some analysis why this indicator is really good. So you see this capitulation phase. So this indicator is a great buy signal, meaning like you see, if you would have bought here, that means Bitcoin price would go up all the way to 250% almost. On the other hand, this is another buy signal. This is a short period of time, that if you would have bought here and sold here, that's 40%. but again you got another buy signal. So the weekly, on a weekly chart it works really well. On a daily chart it also works really well. Some of the short-term period you can probably buy. And if so, this let's go back to the weekly chart, we'll talk about it more. So you see this red line here, these red lines are basically the Bitcoin halving period, when Bitcoin halved. So these are the time Bitcoin halved, Bitcoin price, Bitcoin generation halved. And as you can see, it takes quite a bit. For how many days? So from here till here, that's 72 bars, 504 days, right? So almost more than a year, 1 year, yeah. So it took 500 days for this bull run to happen, and then we saw this how long, almost 504 days up until from 2017 December up until April 2019 we saw this bear market. And again you see we have seen a Bitcoin halving happened, and how long it took for it to start again for this current bull run. 230 days, 203 days, and how many percent? 228%. Now the question is, because of the institutional investors, as I showed in the whale map, will Bitcoin price start going up? And now there's I'll talk a little bit of altcoin again, and so Bitcoin, you can have a comparison against Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Let me load my chart. Bitcoin and altcoin comparison. So I kind of removed them. So let's say BTC USD. Okay, so this is a comparison between Bitcoin is this candle, and Ethereum is this orange line, and this is the S&P. So let's look at what's happening recently. As you can see, Bitcoin starts moving, the orange line, so Bitcoin start moving. As you can see, Ethereum start moving. So basically, and then as you can see, compared to S&P, you can also put gold here too, so that okay. So of course Bitcoin is performing well. So when Ethereum goes well, that means all other altcoin will also go very well. But let's put a smaller coin. Which one we should pick? Let's say Algorand, Algo USDT. So you can compare different coins, and and then you can also use a watch list on this hand that I use. I can in future also share this watch list. So if I look at the Binance BTC market, I can see which coins have been performing bad. For the hot BTC, it's minus 25%. On the other hand, which one is doing really well? 20%. XCM BTC is doing very well. So when you are dealing with a smaller cap or new cryptocurrencies, a lot of them are shit coins, meaning like they may lose their value, and you will have to be a very seasoned trader to trade them so that you don't lose your value very quickly. And personally, if you are new to crypto coins or cryptocurrency and you are not an active trader, you should probably just depend on Bitcoin, Ethereum. And on the other hand, if you are interested in making a lot of money very quickly, you should be looking into projects, not only just the price actions, also you look at the team behind it, also look at the community behind it, and you decide upon where to invest and where to not. Okay, so this is all for today. I have introduced to you. I'll go through again what I went through today. So I showed you the coin market cap, where you can get information about all the coins, and then how you should be following people, and global news market, and politics, and pandemics. You should follow Twitter, and then for on-chain analysis you can use Glassnode Studio. Of course, lots of YouTubers you should be following, and TradingView for your own analysis, and you can also share your own analysis. And I am also a relatively new trader. I don't do daily trading. I sometimes do swing trading, but definitely this is a great opportunity to find new interesting projects. All these crypto coins are kind of like new startups that you should be looking into what kind of technology that's being built upon certain ideas, and who is behind it, and invest based on your own decision. And definitely in my channel I will try to go through different projects, and we'll talk more about Bitcoin and its potential in future, and Ethereum. And I will show different ways, my personal perspective. I may be wrong too, but how I try to understand what's happening in the Bitcoin market. And that's it. Finally, I want to end showing the DTube. So as you know, DTube is on Uniswap. For people who have not traded on DTube, you can go to the Uniswap. This is our DTube. This is the link that I can share later, and you can click on trade, and you need to have Ethereum for trading. So you use this MetaMask wallet for you to trade, and be very careful in terms of your wallet keys and everything. And also Ionomy is the BTC DTube, where you can also buy DTC if you hold coin, you want to invest in DTC, because there we need more liquidity and more interest around DTube. And also I believe on CoinGecko you can take a look at DTube coin already. So this is where I'm going to end. Thank you for listening to me, and I will end it here.